Today I'm talking about how Pothos can be very beneficial in your aquarium. This here is the mother plant of all the Pothos plants I have. This one is upstairs in a pot. I've had this one for about 7 years. And once in the 7 years I changed the soil in it just to give it more nutrition. About almost a year ago now, I broke these two plants off of the main plant, and I put them in some soil of their own. They have already really taken off and started growing. And I also have a small one down by my aquarium that I broke off recently. But inside the aquarium itself, I have this huge one starting to grow in here. This Pothos plant does perfect in an aquarium. This Pothos plant has been in this aquarium for 4 years, but just recently that it started growing super fast. For years, this aquarium has just had a regular aquarium light, but recently I started running this ultraviolet light on a 12-hour timer, so it's on half of the day. Ever since I did that, this thing just started growing like crazy. The benefits of having this in the aquarium are it removes all kinds of bad stuff from the water. It feeds off of the fish's waste, so it's purifying the water. It adds oxygen to the water for the fish can breathe. And also, Pothos is perfectly safe if the aquarium plants decide to eat it. I have a pleco in here that I actually have seen eating it. You can see all the roots this thing produces. And because of the 12-hour clock, you can see the roots are covered in algae. Algae also does help in this aquarium. Algae helps remove bad stuff and aerate. You can see there's a lot of algae in the back trough. But in the aquarium itself, the algae is really kept care of. It's not growing on the glass because I have a pleco fish that eats that. In my experience, the Pothos plant grows fastest on a 12-hour clock. For a while, I had it growing on a 18-hour timer, so it would be on 18 hours of the day. When it was on 18 hours of the day, it didn't seem as good. Also, I noticed with more sunlight, it also kills off algae in the aquarium. It kind of bakes it, I assume. So I put it on a 12-hour timer. I have it set back here, my timer. See, I have it turns on at 11 in the morning, it shuts off at 11 at night. Goes to this power strip controlled by the timer. I have two things on here. One of them goes up to my light, and the other one goes to this radio that I have playing. This radio, the pet pigeon likes to listen to that during the daytime. As soon as I turn that radio on, the pigeon starts going crazy with excitement for it. I have that shut off now for the radio. The other lights that I have above my head right now, I just have on when I'm down here. These are usually shut off. Okay, this is where the pleco has been hanging out. There's this gap between the filter and the brick. And this pleco, I don't know why the pleco decides to hang out there by the filter, because just a little while ago I built the pleco. This little cave over here. This cave, it's too narrow for the Jack Dempsey to go in there. That's why I built it like that. It was for the Pleco could get away from the Jack Dempsey, because the Jack Dempsey all the time goes up and bites the Pleco. But the Pleco doesn't want to go in that cave. Pleco used to, but stopped using it. Kind of ignores this guy. And I have seen the Pleco fight back with its barbs. Just take a look at the roots of this. You can tell they're really growing fast because you can see the ends of them are white, where the algae hasn't grown yet because they're that fresh. Now, these plants you can have growing above or below the water. It doesn't matter to them. They'll be fine. The leaves, for a while, used to be below the water, but they were taking up too much space, and the fish were having trouble getting through them. They were getting tangled up in them, so I used a few zip ties, and I brought them up with some hooks. And they're kind of growing across this platform in the back. That platform, the purpose of that is a few purposes, actually. It helps aerate the water with a waterfall, and it also helps move around the aquarium water, creating currents. I have a filter on this end and a filter on this end, and they're dropping out of this kind of in the middle. I'm going to open this aquarium up for a better view. Okay, here it is. There's the filter. It's dumping it into here. See the algae in there. And also, these plants really like it. It's really humid. I just opened up the top of the aquarium, and I can really feel the heat coming out of this thing. Because right now the room temperature is about 60 degrees. The air in here has got to be in the 80s, because I keep the water around 85 because they're tropical fish. I'm going to go ahead and feed that fish. There he is.